The economic storm, otherwise known as the Great Recession, has begun to pass, and with it comes the long and arduous task of rebounding from the financial havoc that has resulted in the last few years. The city of Southfield has ridden out these economic challenges through careful strategic and fiscal planning, adhering to strict spending limits and embracing a gold standard of public service to maintain high-quality services despite the tough times. Hello, and welcome to the special 2013-2014 budget edition of 15 News. The worst of the long economic slump that has slammed both the state and country appears to be over. Now begins a period of recovery as Southfield, along with countless other municipalities, climb out of the economic mire. Through an expenditure diet that began with a 5-year renewable strategic plan in 2004, the City Council, Mayor, and administration foresaw impending economic challenges. Despite being one of the hardest hit cities of its size in Michigan, Southfield has displayed great resiliency, unity, and the heart of a champion. This team spirit involved inspired leadership by elected officials and exceptional assistance from city staff, business community, and residents who showed their support for Southfield's future in many ways, which led to the overwhelming approval of a May 2011 millage request to sustain outstanding police and fire services. While economists have long been forecasting that the economy would eventually begin recovering, Southfield did not wait on those predictions. The city remained aggressive in developing strategies that enabled it to remain operational through the worst of the recessionary period. Through these focused efforts, Southfield was able to meet its past budget goals and deliver high-quality services, while being one of the few municipalities that avoided layoffs and/or reductions in essential on-the-street services during the Great Recession. The city even saw improved service enhancements with its 24/7 code enforcement and community appearance programs. But what are some of the areas that illustrate the city's ability to meet unprecedented challenges and enjoy continued progress moving forward? In all, we'll briefly touch on 6 areas: infrastructure improvements, public safety, community appearance and code enforcement, business development, education, cultural affairs, and city staffing. City officials realized that a full economic recovery on the state or local level could not be fully realized with crumbling roads. Through collaborative partnerships, the city has been proactive in seeking and acquiring much-needed funding for several road repair projects. Southfield reached an agreement with the Road Commission for Oakland County. In all, elected officials and various Southfield agencies such as the DDA, Chamber of Commerce, Providence Hospital, and Northland Center assisted in obtaining 72% outside funding, or $2.6 million, for the sorely needed Greenfield Road reconstruction. Federal funding will also be utilized to cover a major portion of the Evergreen Road construction project planned for 2014. Capital improvements to ensure water quality and environmental stewardship continue to be a major focus. The proposed budget allocates $9.7 million for capital projects involving facilities, roads, and water and sewer system improvements. These strategic investments are even more impressive due to Act 51 state road funding levels for local and major street systems remaining stagnant and below the levels of 3 years ago. The city continues to invest in the future despite daunting financial limitations. While the typical cost of municipal operations is up 1.5% nationwide, as reflected in the Municipal Cost Index, the city's general fund budget is down 1.6%. The proposed general fund budget for 2013-2014 totals $65,599,556, which reflects a reduction of $1,067,580, or 1.6% less than last year. Public safety remains a key budgetary priority regardless of economic conditions, comprising a total of $39,113,411, or 60% of the total general fund budget. The recent selections of Southfield's new police chief, fire chief, and emergency management director has solidified the leadership and direction of these crucial frontline departments and pointed them towards a strong future. As a result, residents can continue to rely on police and fire department services that are among the best in the region. Pleasing community appearance has always been a top priority, and Southfield continues to take a comprehensive approach to code enforcement and community appearance with even greater emphasis on citizen participation and interaction. The city continues to maintain high community appearance standards by clearly communicating city codes, ordinances, and expectations to residents and businesses alike. The Code Enforcement and Community Appearance Division graciously yet aggressively extends a helping hand with the goal of achieving voluntary compliance and conformance to the city's appearance standards. The partnership between the city and its residents is readily apparent with the continued support given to the EYES hotline. This system reinforces the upkeep of business and residential vacant properties in order to preserve the integrity of the city's neighborhoods. Residents and business people can call the EYES hotline at area code 248-796-EYES or 3937 to report appearance problems of any kind immediately. The city's revised resident handbook and its collaborative partnership with neighborhood associations has ensured that Southfield remains clean and attractive, key elements to attracting new businesses and residents. These efforts illustrate the city's short and long-term commitment to protecting its physical appearance and curb appeal. Pleasing community appearance is an essential element in Southfield's business attraction and retention initiatives, along with building community spirit. The city continues to make use of employee grant funds that incorporate summer jobs for youth, who work in tandem with Code Enforcement and Community Appearance Division staff to aid in litter disposal, vacant property upkeep, and sidewalk and bike path programs on a rotating basis throughout the summer season. This helps the city in its cost recovery efforts aimed especially at owners of vacant homes or buildings. Southfield provides 24/7 around-the-clock monitoring and correction of appearance issues. Also connected to good community appearance is the need for livable housing. Southfield recognizes the importance of having good housing stock and has aggressively pursued programs that look to keep residents in their homes while fostering a strong sense of community. Programs such as CHORE, SHIP, the Southfield Home Improvement Program, Habitat for Humanity, Rebuilding Together Oakland County, and most notably the Neighborhood Stabilization Program, otherwise known as NSP, have helped to improve appearance and community spirit by spurring new reinvestments and stabilizing neighborhoods one house at a time. Despite the daily economic pressures, Southfield's budget provides either direct funding or indirect support to all of those programs and activities. These are all baby steps towards stemming the tide of outmigration that took place during the middle of the recession and repopulating the city with young, career-minded families seeking employment opportunities and high quality of life standards. Southfield continues to be the center of it all, despite development across southeastern Michigan being slow to recover from its economic slump. City officials continue to seek out public and private partnerships in building and/or redeveloping commercial retail and office space throughout the city. This has kept Southfield redevelopment ready and made it a city that welcomes new businesses and entrepreneurs. These investments and redevelopments don't happen by accident. Rather, they reflect the strong desire by the business development team and elected officials to build a strong economic climate that promotes expansion and allows businesses to thrive in Southfield and creates good-paying jobs. Some of the more recent development projects include Secure24, an expanding IT solutions firm, moved its growing team to a larger headquarters, now facilitating 257 employees. Credit Acceptance Corporation received a $2 million grant from the Michigan Business Development Program incentive last May and will invest an additional $10 million in Southfield with 300 new jobs created. CFI, a full-service consulting and systems integration firm, will double their workforce in the coming year. The Hans Group recently moved from one Southfield location to another new headquarters in the city, while also opening a new Hans Bake branch. Pepper Hamilton, a multi-practice law firm with more than 500 lawyers nationally, recently leased over 25,000 square feet of office space in the Travelers Towers. National chain Billy Sims Barbecue recently opened a new location in the city. Lear Corporation continues to grow and invest in Southfield with the conversion of the Sims building into a new manufacturing and showroom facility. Having a strong business presence helps offset decline in the tax base caused by state, federal, and worldwide economic conditions beyond our control. The Southfield Public School District is a beacon of academic excellence as it shapes young minds to be the leaders of tomorrow. The district and its administration continues to be recognized nationally for its innovative literacy programs and academic achievement. In its 10th year, the Southfield Library continues to utilize emerging technologies to offer patrons greater accessibility and availability. City cardholders can borrow downloadable video, audiobooks, and ebooks to their mp3 and iPod players without leaving their homes. The library also presents such enduring cultural programs such as its Jazz and Blues music series, Battle of the Books, Spell Bowl, Creasy book discussions, storytelling presentations, all-ages summer reading programs, author lectures and signings, and numerous special events throughout the year that enrich the cultural fabric of the city. Despite temporarily reducing its hours of operation last year to conserve funds, the library continues to be the city's cultural center while forging its way into the expanding world of computer and information technology. The Southfield Parks and Recreation Department continues to present family-friendly, culturally relevant events such as the Family Fun and Safety Night, the 2-day end-of-summer S'more Fest, Who at the Berg, Family Movie Night, Tree Lighting, Daddy-Daughter Dinner Dance, family pool parties, and many more. These events have been made possible through collaborative partnerships with a wide range of community groups and organizations such as Providence Hospital, Oakland County Parks and Recreation, and a host of others. These partnerships enable the city to continue offering exciting, high-quality events for the whole family at a fraction of the cost. The recession has necessitated structural changes in the size of government. As a result, since 2004, the city has reduced staffing levels by over 210 employees, or 26% of the workforce. This has necessitated the cross-training of existing staff, employing new technology, resource sharing, and process improvements that help maintain high-quality service levels while doing more with less. This has enabled city department heads and staff members to perform a variety of additional functions while wearing numerous hats and fulfilling multiple job functions with no drop-off in service delivery to residents. This has taken extraordinary dedication on the part of city staff to make these adjustments without reducing services to the public. Southfield government is streamlined yet capable. It has made smaller government an essential element of cost reduction to meet the challenge of declining revenues from most major sources. The Southfield property owner whose home has a market value of $100,000 and a taxable value of $50,000 will provide $1,225 in city property tax dollars in the coming fiscal year. This averages out to just a little over $3 per day. Although the city collects and processes total property tax, only about 40 cents on the dollar is destined for city operations. Most of that tax dollar, approximately 60 cents, goes to other taxing authorities for educational purposes and to provide for county services. The financial forecast is both daunting and sobering on a state level. According to state indicators in Lansing, state shared revenue, the city's second largest general fund revenue source, though showing an increase this year, is still 35% below 2001-2002 levels. Taxable values to support city services are projected to be down 8.5% for fiscal year 2013-2014. That is in addition to an 11% dip the previous fiscal year, including allowances for commercial tax valuation appeals. This translates to roughly a cumulative decrease of 50% in property tax valuations since the 2008-2009 fiscal year. These declines in property values were unprecedented in the city's 55-year history and were simply beyond anyone's ability to predict. Despite this dramatic drop in valuations, Southfield has balanced the 2013-2014 general fund budget without the use of fund balance for operations. The general fund budget utilizes $985,712 in savings, but that is strictly a cautious reserve for commercial appeals. If the projections prove too cautious and appeals come in below the estimated forecast, this reserve can be returned to fund balance for future use and applied to capital projects such as facilities or roads. This strategy has been reviewed by Plant & Moran, the city's independent auditors, and deemed a prudent approach to Southfield's long-term sustainability. This strategic planning and allocation of the general fund budget ensures that Southfield will have a safe landing despite navigating through tough economic times. Fortunately, through careful planning, strategic vision, and strict adherence to a stabilization plan that began back in 2004, Southfield has been able to avoid drastic service cuts or financial crisis that has occurred in other cities. The city's strategy has been sound despite the length of the national recession and the severity of the fiscal challenges. Whenever the economy has looked bleak, Southfield has found a way to balance its books and offer high-quality services without layoffs or service reductions. Southfield's success has been built on integrity, concentrating on areas that can be controlled and improved, being committed to strict expenditure limits, and focusing on greater efficiency. This is called for bold vision, innovative concepts, fiscal discipline, and common sense approaches to maintain the day-to-day services that residents expect. Moving forward, these strategies and actions must be accelerated to help offset many of the dramatic losses in property tax and state revenue that have been experienced over the past few years. City leadership recognizes that in order to remain an independent and thriving municipality with long-term sustainability, there must be a simultaneous focus on tax base enhancement and operating cost reduction. The ability to change with the times, diversify and improve, utilize skill and expertise, take advantage of grant funding, forge community partnerships, and embrace hard work will enable Southfield to be a major player in the global marketplace today, tomorrow, and beyond. It is the city's shared vision that when Southfield's story goes down in the history books, it will not be as a casualty of the recession, but rather as one of repopulation, recovery, reinvention, and reinvestment. That is a central focus of the 2013-2014 budget plan as Southfield looks to be a leader in fueling the economic recovery of the region. That wraps up our special 2013-2014 City Budget edition of 15 News. Thank you for watching.